Okay, a very good evening to our lecturer, Ms. JAHNAHNI THEVI. So tonight, we would like to give a presentation regarding our assignment 1 from the subject Introduction of Counseling and Guidance, PHR 20903. So today with my group mates, which is PONNISAHA SUBRAMANIAM, and we have a KAVINDHARAN SURESH and me, DAYANG. So without any further, we move to the next slide, which is KAVINDHARAN would like to give an introduction of this assignment.
Okay, hi Miss. So, introduction, the first part is the role of counselor. So, a counselor provides a safe environment for the clients to discuss his or her emotional issue or mental problem. So, what does it mean is, safe environment means is that counselor can hold on to the confidential parts of the client. So, the counselor carries the role of a good ethics in confidentiality. So there is a safe environment so that the client can discuss on their emotional issues and also mental problems. And it helps the clients to resolve their problems and often navigate them by offering a secure environment for dialogue, reflection, and the processing of suffering. So what does it mean is that by having a good ethics of confidentiality, the client will be able to share their problems, their issues, where direct session will occur, where two-way communications, and also will occur is self-reflection as well. So this can come out with a more effective counseling session. And the third point is being client-centered and empathetic. A counselor also should carry a role of being a client-centered and empathetic so that the counselor can understand really what the client is going through. And this can really help in coming out with a more effective counseling session. And the last one is attentively listens to their client's verbal and non-verbal signals during the session. So counselors should also must be a good active listener so that they can understand what the client is trying to tell, and also must understand the non-verbal signals to better understand on the client's what client really needs, what solution they need. So all these things can help a counselor to be a better counselor, bring out a better and effective counseling session. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Kavin. So now we move to the importance of counseling in modern society. So we have 3 points that have been highlighted. So the first point is a mental health awareness and support, which is according to the Journal of Counseling, Counseling the Culturally Diverse Theory and Practice. So psychotherapy is a significant component in the management of mental disorder. So the control of which is essential in today's societies. So this is relevant in this increase of awareness regarding mental health that has also led to the appreciation of professional interventions. So, for example, they offer some time for interactions and discuss the challenges that include anxiety, stress, depressions. So, the key points include the reduction of the stigma and the access of the resources and the crisis of interventions. So, for the second point is the personal development and growth. So apart from the meeting the requirements of the mental health, counseling produce personality change and enhancements. So it involves the evaluation of values, belief, and goals. So directing change toward more effectively personal fulfillment and self-understandings. So it is important aspect include the goal settings. For example, the counselors help clients identify appropriate objective, and how to implement them and complete them. Besides, we have a skill development. For example, during counseling, learners acquire interpersonal skills, knowledge and skill, as well as way of dealing with the various situations of the greater efficiency. So my last point is the relationship improvement. So the counseling is also important for the enhancement of interactional relationship among the families, couples, or communities as well. So it consists of the methods of communication of conflicts, solving which are critically important in interpersonal relationships. So now I'll give the slide to the next presenter.
Thank you, Dayang. So we are going to focus on traditional role of counselors and how the counseling used to be limited in a specific environment. So the first one is schooling. So according to the traditional role, so the first one is a school counseling. As we know, the school counselors always focus on student, right? They're focused on academic, emotional needs of the students. For example, a school counselor always helping a student to manage the family problem and also planning for their future. Okay, the second one is a clinical counseling. Clinical counselor is a work with the people who facing mental health issues, challenges like anxiety, depression, and the kind of trauma also like that. For example, a counselor always supports someone with a depression thought regular with the therapy sessions, like something like uh, they're always like a medication or hypnotism and many more. Okay, the third one is community-based counseling. Community counselor assisted managing a group of people, which means a unique challenges like poverty and substance abuses. A counselor in a community center providing a guidance on domestic violence. Okay, and also moving to the limitation and traditional of counseling environments. The first one is accessibility. So counseling was only able in a specific place. For example, it's rare to find, which means it's made too hard to everyone to access their service. Okay, it's not the easiest. For example, people with a remote area struggle to find a counseling help. For example, like work from home or and many more like working in office, so it's so difficult to them to manage to find a counselor. And second one is a stigma is a kind of trauma with many people they're having a counseling, they need counseling, they are having a mental health issue also, but they are having a fear to, oh, but if the counselor listen to us, they will quickly judge us. So people, that the things that people always like to avoid them, because they want to keep that is a private, it's their personal matters and like that. Okay, the last one is awareness. Many people were unaware of counseling, and people they are like, they're not giving a proper knowledge, which means they're having a lack of awareness. They doesn't have any knowledge how the counseling can be help them to improve their mental health. So I'm going to pass with another presenter, Mr. Kavi.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. So the next one is the current issues at workplace that affects employee productivity. So firstly, I just want to merge the 2 points, which is the first one is insufficient training and communication issue. So both insufficient training and lack of communication or communication barriers can lead to less or can lead to less instruction given to employee, or the employee may find like clueless, or they don't know what to how to work properly on the task assignment given. So this can greatly affect their work productivity, and this also can cause work related stress. This is because when there is when there is less communication, insufficient training, there will be also less motivation for the employee to work better. So these two can be considered as an factor for employees' productivity decrease. The next one is personal issues. So personal issues can be employees' family issues or friend issues. So when they bring this to work, when they doing their work, when these issues like overrule them, it may affect their working may affect their work style as well, and also will affect their work norms. So this will also affect employees' productivity. The next one is staff conflict. The staff conflict usually happens due to like disagreements between employees, ego clashes, and also due to discriminations. So when staff conflict happens, employees of two parties usually focus on conflict issues rather than work-related issues. So this can greatly affect the productivity of the employees as well. And the last one is overwork and burnout. So when overwork is given, a lot of tasks is given to one single employee, they will result in burnout. So when there's burnout, employees will have disciplinary issues and also work performance issues, which directly leads to less productivity. So these are the issues currently at workplace that causes less productivity among employees. Thank you. That's all from me. Next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Kavin. All right, so now we move to the next slide. Okay. Okay, so now we go to the identify and analyze the major setting where counseling practices have expanded beyond traditional environments. So we got 4 points. So the first point is a telehealth and online counseling platform. Number 2 is a workplace counseling program. Number 3 is the community-based counseling initiative. Number 4 is the mobile apps and digital mental health tools. So we go to one by one, which is the first point is telehealth and online counseling platforms. So basically, the modern of technology has influenced the profession through the modification in the practice of counseling and the introduction of online as well as the telecounseling. So the scheduled therapy through video communication platform, instant meeting, or specialized applied mental health application software have become frequent after the COVID-19 situations. For example, such platform can make it easier for the clients to access mental health services, particularly people who have a mobility impediment or they're located in areas professionals. So we go to the point number 2, which is workplace counseling programs. So basically, counseling practices have also moved out the hospitals and clinics in other organizations like schools, workplace, and community center. So school counselor are defined as a specialist whose functions in identifying and meeting students, interpersonal and interpersonal needs in schools. Also, in the case of the workplace counseling programs, they are developing widely due to understanding by by employers of the value of the sound of mental health. So it is improvement employee performance and satisfactions. For example, this program may contain education session, stress control training, and the possibility to consult with a therapeutic mental health workers qualified in help individuals to address private issues. So we go to the third point, which is the community-based counseling initiative. So another broad area where the practices of counseling have spread or the unconventional therapeutic context like therapeutic recreation of the arts therapy. So nature therapy empowered to use the natural resources to conducting and performing therapeutic physical activities that can heal. So for example, this can count on the given is positive impact on the psychological health of the body with reduced stress level and raised moods. Besides, arts therapy helps make to the process of dealing with psychological issues more entertaining by bypass the ability to discuss emotions, which is helpful for people who have hard time talking to other people's. Okay, number 4 points. The last point is the mobile apps and digital mental health tools. So basically, as an extension of these units, it is those which are especially meant to deliver efficient mental health services to population which rarely receive any or place characterized by emergency. For example, this conventional includes giving instant service through mobile clinics by trained personnel with an objective of eradicating all hindrances that prevent those in unnecessary services and emphasis offering a timely service at crucial time. Thus, mobile units have also been used in a research conducted on how they were effective at implementing engagement with cohorts. So now I give the slides to next presenter.
So So here we have a role of counselor, which means non-traditional settings, including a workplace. So first one is a mental health support. In many companies now, the recognition the importance of mental support, right? So for example, employee assistance programs, EAS, EAPS. So they offer a session for the employees dealing with the stress and burnout. The second one is a career development. Development, it's a counselor assist the employees in career planning, skills development, and finding the job satisfaction wherever they are satisfied with their job or not. For example, a counselor working with the employee on a career growth plan or creating a team building activity to make them feel positive with the environment. So the third one is the conflict resolution. The counselor had to solve the conflict between from the misunderstanding or personality clashes. For example, they add like a middle person lah, to if the person having any issues with the company or the co-workers. So the fourth one is a diversity. The counselors support the diversity by educating the employees on the culture sensitivity and respecting their diversity viewpoints. For example, the counselor leading a workshop on culture awareness. So the last one is a crisis support. During the challenges time, such as layoff and emergencies, counselors provided emotional support to help the employees cope. For example, during the COVID, the counselor play a crucial role in the pandemic, help the employees to manage their stress and then their like having a depression like. So here also we're having a challenges based on these non-traditional settings. The first one is maintenance professional boundaries. The counselor must balance the company needs with the employees' well-being. So, and also resources limited. So some companies may not enough resources allocated for the counseling limited their efficiency. For example, the counselor can only having a few session only with the employees. So this time they're having a limited session only with the counseling. So sometimes they see like they're having an issue with the budget and moreover. So confidential is the third one. So ensuring a confidential is essential, but the challenging in the workplace, which means they have to maintain their records in a private, make sure the another co-workers doesn't have idea about what kind of the having issue, the employee having an issue. Okay, while they are having a counseling with the counselors. So that's all from me. Next.
So the next one is suggestion and recommendation part. So the first one is technique and skills of counselors at workplace. So firstly, counselors should know should be good in conflict resolution. It's a very main point. So counselors should know how to handle and resolve conflict arises from employees or clients. They should know how to resolve it in an effective and professional manner. Second one is cultural competency. So nowadays, counselors should acknowledge and accept cultural diversification in working places. So by accepting this, the counselor can give a more inclusive and comprehensive counseling session, and also a more comprehensive outcome counseling session. And the third one is crisis management. So a counselor should know should understand what is the meaning of crisis management, should able to identify what types of crisis like personal trauma or stress, also like harassment and all this. So they should know what is the crisis and how to manage these crisis related cases. And the fourth one, the technique and skills which we suggest and recommend is the adaptability and flexibility. Counselors nowadays must be good in adapting and be flexible enough to do counseling session with new generations of employees. By having this adaptability and flexibility, counselors can engage more effectively with their clients, especially at working places nowadays. That's all for me.
So moving to the ethical of counseling in employee support. So the first one is increase awareness and accessibility. So main point is make sure all the employees know about the counseling service. They feel more comfortable whenever they are using that. So for example, run an awareness campaign or the seminar or email or any online platform. Make sure there are no it's a normal and common if they're having any issues, they can having a personal consultation with counselors, and also confidential and build the trust. So make sure they keep data in private, and make sure there is a strict policy that only authorized counselor can access the client's information and data. Okay. Offer a comprehension and multicultural counseling. For example, recognize and respect employees' diversity and background based on their background and also their personality and character based lah. So, for example, train a counselor in a culture awareness and provide the language support if they are needed. Ensure the employee feel understood and respect. This is normally happen between the foreign workers. So make sure they are having a knowledge about their language also. The last one is follow a strict ethical guidance. So counselors should having a code to ethical maintenance high standards. For example, require a counselor to participate in an ethical training and stick to their areas. That's all from me. Dayang.
Okay, thank you, PONNISAHA. Okay, so now we move to the conclusions. So while employee counseling programs are increasingly recognized as a vital component of workplace health initiative, the effectiveness and acceptance of these services hinge significantly on employees. So perceptions and experience. So the understanding this perspective is a crucial for the organization aiming to enhance the utilization and impact of the counseling services. So the research indicates that employees may have a varying levels of awareness, trust, and willingness to engage with this program, often influenced by the organization culture, stigma surrounding mental health, and the perceived quality and support efforts. So therefore, organization must not only implement counseling services, but also actively seek feedback from the employees to tailor this program to meet their need effectively. So that's all for group 1. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.